let's talk about annual percentage yield. What is annual percentage yield? Pretend that you are putting some money in an account that gives you, say, 8% compounded monthly. So what happens, the amount of money that you put after a month, this interest rate is calculated. Now you have a little bit more money. Now the next month, they give you more interest rate based upon your original amount and the amount that you made in first month. So you get interest on interest. And that continues the month after month after month. So you know that the last month of the year, actually you made more money than the previous month, because every month is just a little bit more. And sometimes you want to know, okay, 8% was offered to you for that account, but what was in average? What was your annual percentage yield? It's going to be a slightly more than 8%, but how much? So how do we find that? Let's talk about this just using a theoretical example. Suppose you want to find the annual percentage yield for an investment that earns 8% per year, and let's say compounded monthly. Okay. So previously we learned that the future value of an investment equals the present value, however much you are investing, times 1 plus the rate divided by n, in this case 12, because it's monthly, to the power of n times t. Okay. Now that we are talking about percentage yield, let me change column and write rate of annual percentage yield equals. So the present value that you are going to be investing, let's just call it a 1, like 100% of what you put down, what you invest, times 1 plus r divided by n. And since we are talking about annual percentage yield, then t equals 1. So I only put n in here. So since if I subtract the amount or the 100% of what you put in the beginning, then this shows your annual percentage yield. So once again, this 1 in here is how much or 100% of what you invested in the beginning. And this is, I'm subtracting that amount to see how much money you made as of interest rate. All right. So let's go to the next page and simplify this just a little bit. And here I better put n times t. Just, going to the next page and rewrite this. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this 1 because 1 times anything is itself, so it's not necessary to write it. And this t also is 1 because we're talking about annual. Let's go to next page and write this as rate of annual percentage yield equals 1 plus r divided by n to the power of n minus 1. Okay. So in this theoretical question, we know that the rate, the interest rate was 8%, which is 8 divided by 100, which is 0.08. Okay, and we know that this account is compounded monthly, so n equals 12. Okay, so let's say that R of annual percentage yield equals 1 plus 0.08 over 12 to the power of 12, and here's a -1. Let me just grab my calculator. Parenthesis 1 plus 0.08 divided by 12 to the power of 12 -1. And according to my calculator, I am getting 0.083000. So since I want to turn this to a percentage, I'm going to multiply this by 100, and I'm going to say about 8.3%. So annual interest, annual percentage yield was 8.3%. And it does make sense that it is higher than the 8% that was offered to you, because you keep earning interest on interest. Okay, so let's do one more example. We have time for one more example. Same kind of idea. Let me go to the next page. And let's say that find annual percentage yield for an investment that earns 5.5% per year, compounded. This time, let's do it quarterly. Okay, so what we know for sure that the percentage is going to be slightly more than 5.5%. Let's use our formula and say rate of annual percentage yield equals 1 plus R divided by N to the power of N minus 1. So that equals 1 plus. We said that 5.5%, so in decimal, that is 0.055 divided by quarterly, there is 4 quarters in a year to the power of 4 minus 1. And let's put that in my calculator. So parenthesis 1 plus 0.055 divided by 4, close parenthesis, to the power of 4 minus 1. So according to my calculator, I have 0.056145. So about, multiplying this by 100 to get percentage, about 5.61%. And that does make sense because 5.61% is more than 5.5%. So you probably at this point you say, well, it's not very much. It's, what's the big deal about this? You are right. If you only had, like, let's say $100 to invest, you would be correct that it doesn't make that much of a difference. But if you had $100 million to invest, then the end result would be a huge number. Okay, let me know if you have any questions.